In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a $1 million funnel for your online education business. And just to prove to you that I'm not full of it, I'm going to put a screenshot right over here from a Slack message the accountant of our company just sent me. Okay. And so if you don't know what a marketing funnel is, I'm going to be going over that because that really is how you're going to build your $1 million marketing funnel. And we're going to start off with the top of funnel. Here is the top of the funnel. And this is basically where we get all of the attention from social media ads, social media content, even maybe content marketing and SEO. Okay, this is called the awareness stage, right? This is where people are just hearing about you. They may not know your name, they may not know your face, but as you start to post more and more, they'll get familiar with your face. And then over time, they'll get familiar with your message. Then they'll get familiar with your name. Usually your name is like the last thing people will remember. And this is the part that I find that most content creators love making. And I love making this as well, because this type of content gets the most amount of views and comments because you're really talking about more broad and mainstream issues here. And you're trying to figure out how to relate it to your bottom of funnel, which is your offer and where you actually make the sale. Okay. And I know I'm just kind of glossing over things here, but I want to get to the main point here. And the main point that we're going to be talking about in this video specifically is the middle of funnel. Okay. And the middle of funnel here is called the consideration stage, okay? This is really where you get people from social media. Let's just use social media as an example because everyone's promoting on social media. And if you're not, you should be. To start to evaluate and consider working with you, okay? And how do you do that? Well, the main way that internet marketers have been doing it for the last 20 years is by using what's called a lead magnet. Now you're like, what's a lead magnet? I don't know what a lead magnet is. A lead magnet is simply a free training that you do in either video format or through a PDF or through an ebook, right? Maybe an EPUB format where you give some kind of knowledge out for free on how to get a desired result that your ideal prospect is looking for. Now, what we do here, and the main part of doing this is twofold. Okay, the first part is so that we can get their contact information. Okay, because a person doesn't really become a real lead until you have their contact information, and that contact information is their name, email, and phone number. Okay, the second part is so that you can nurture them with content. Okay, once you have their email, you can put them on your email list and start sending them weekly emails or monthly emails, whatever cadence you find that's going to work with you. You can also retarget them with retargeting ads, right? If they're coming to your content on your feed, or you can even retarget their email with ads as well. And so this is where you're really getting to kind of sell yourself, right? You would consider this kind of like the sales call, but you're not actually getting on any calls, right? You're just making a video sales presentation going over your system, okay? And why do you want to make a video? If you're like, I don't want to be on camera, I can't talk on camera for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 4 hours, right? I have some clients that are doing 4-hour middle of funnel videos, okay? And I'm not going to call this a webinar. You could call it a webinar if you want. You could call it a VSL if you want. It has many names. I prefer the name the Epiphany Bridge, okay? Because this gets people clear on what they need to do. And usually, if you do it well, what they need to do is work with you, all right? So like I was saying, if you're like, I don't know, I don't want to do video, let me just sell you on doing video, first of all, okay? When you do video, you can sell from one to many, okay? Right now, if you're selling one-to-one, that's very tedious. You're probably saying the same things over and over again. And I personally hate saying the same things over and over again. I'd rather just put it all into a video, send you the video, and you're like, okay, great, I got it, right? And so obviously this is going to save you a lot of time. right? Because when people ask you, hey, how does it work? How does your process work? Here, watch this video, right? You can have all their questions answered in this one video, right? Now, the good part about this from a marketing perspective is this video now becomes a scalable asset, right? Secondly, when you make a video, you're building an insane amount of trust, right? If you've been on sales calls with people who haven't watched any of your content before, the energy on that call is very different, right? Because you're literally trying to convince a stranger, you're taking them through your whole process, you're answering all these questions, you're trying to build trust. It is very tedious to do that with a stranger, right? It's literally like asking a stranger to marry you, right? And so when you have your prospects go through a very specific video that walks them through how your whole process works, and you build trust around who you are and the results you've gotten for others, and even maybe how much your product or service cost, your program cost, right? You're no longer selling to a stranger anymore, right? And what you'll find, and what I found, is that my sales calls go so much easier, right? There isn't that resistance anymore. They almost look up to me. I call it like the Hollywood effect, right? When you start making videos, you really get the Hollywood effect on your sales calls, and your sales calls go a lot more smoother because they feel like they're talking to a star, right? And your calls don't turn into sales calls anymore. They're more like enrollment calls, right? Because now you're just handling the objections that they're having personally with themselves, right? The third reason why you want to make this into a video for your middle of funnel epiphany bridge video is that it is a demonstration of your product or service or program, okay? This is why how you come off on camera, right, your energy, right, as I'll call it, is so important, right? Because a lot of times people are not good on camera because they don't know what they're talking about, right? As soon as you're comfortable with yourself and you know who you are and you want to be a teacher, especially with this type of product, if you're just selling information, you have to recognize that you're a leader now, right? You're not the person behind the scenes anymore, right? You're almost like, actually, you're not almost like, you are the spokesperson for your company now. And that's literally where all your efforts should be going, okay? And so if you're afraid to be on camera, I don't know what to tell you, my friends. Like, this probably is not for you, right? But I was afraid to be on camera. Up until 4 years ago, I was afraid to talk on camera. So I know it's possible that anyone can get over that fear, no matter how old you are or how young you are or wherever you're starting on your journey to start your own business, okay? So let me stop my little motivational talk now, and let's get into the most important part of this video, which is building out your webinar, your VSL, your epiphany bridge video. And so I like to call this your system video, okay, or epiphany bridge video, okay? And so the easiest way to sell your system is to think of it like, what is the gap in the marketplace that you are solving? Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. What is the gap in the marketplace that you are solving? Now, no matter what business you're in, there's a gap in the marketplace that your business is solving. And what I found is a lot of times business owners are afraid of embracing that gap and going all into that gap that they occupy in the market. Right? It's almost like they have a grass is greener kind of syndrome where they're like, oh, I want that more mainstream audience. I want to appeal to everyone. I want everyone to like me. Right? But what I found is when you go into like that small, tiny gap, it actually is really huge. And over time, it'll allow you to expand. And we've seen this in multiple industries, multiple niches. Okay. So embrace that gap. Now you may be like, okay, great. I'm going to embrace that gap, Andre, but what does it look like technically? How do I figure this out? What is my gap? And what I found, and the easiest way to do this is by this technique called old way versus the new way. And what you basically are going to do is show people the old way that they've been doing things, right? And this usually will be in your top of funnel content, right? And your middle of funnel video is going to be the new way that you do things. Okay, the new way that you solve their problem, right? And I drew an arrow to the bottom of funnel because that's where they really get the desired result that they want. So I'm just going to put DS here for desired result. And really this part of your video is going to show why your technique or system works better than the old way. Okay? You're not showing why your program is better. You're showing why your technique and your system and your way of doing things is better than the old way that they've done things before. Okay? And so a simple, very simple VSL framework. I don't know if you guys can even see this. I'm going to scroll down here. Okay. A very simple VSL framework or webinar framework is this. Can you guys see this? Okay, great. Is you're going to start your VSL with the promise of value. Okay. And your promise of value is simply the benefit that they receive from watching your video, which is going to be exactly the pain point that they're trying to solve in their life, right? So an example is, in this video, I'm going to show you how to lose X amount of pounds by following my nifty difty system, right? You guys may have heard headlines like that before or seen intros like that before. All right. Next, what you're going to want to do is show proof. Okay. Because any charlatan can say this now, especially now that I'm making videos like this, exposing all the marketing secrets. But you're going to want to show proof here, real proof. Don't fake your proof. You're going to want to show real proof, real testimonials, and even just say them like, hey, I helped John lose X amount of pounds using the da-da-da diet. And I helped Jenny lose 15 pounds following the nifty difty diet, right? And you're going to show their pictures, show the proof, maybe even put a little video clip of them saying like, hey, Andre's a great guy. He helped me lose this much. And then from there, you're going to go into your process, okay? This specifically is the old way versus new way framework. With this, and can you guys see this? Okay. With this, you're going to talk about the old ways in which your clients were trying to solve their problems. And as a bonus here, you can talk about the old ways in which you were trying to solve those same problems that your prospects are solving. Okay, so you put it into the first person. I'm not going to go into why that's so powerful, but if you understand, you understand. Next, you're going to go into the new ways that you solve the problem, and you figured out you had this huge epiphany on how to solve that problem. And I'm going to give you guys an example here. I think a great example is P90X. Okay, P90X, if you don't know, was a workout program that was really popular in I think it was the 2000s, early 2000s. And what they said is like you can build muscle not by using the P90X system. No, that's corny. Don't do that, my friends. See, what you want to say is the technique that they figured out. So the technique that they figured out was this thing called muscle confusion, right? Which apparently isn't even a real thing. Okay? But the new way they figured out was by confusing the muscle, you're able to build bigger muscles. Okay? So they said the old way people were working out is they kept doing the same things over and over again. And your muscles basically were like, yo, we're doing the same thing over and over again. We're not going to grow any bigger because we're going to get used to it, right? We need to confuse the muscle. We need to switch up our workouts. And so they introduced muscle confusion as their new technique. And the only way to confuse the muscle is by following the P90X system. You guys see how that works? And then at the end of your VSL, you're going to make an offer. Right? This could be an offer to book a call, an offer to sign up, an offer to join your program, whatever. And that is basically it. That is how you make a killer webinar, VSL, Epiphany Bridge. And if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Do remember to subscribe and like, because that's going to help this channel grow and blow up and become one of the biggest marketing YouTube channels in the world. I'm never going to do that again.